Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of 2021 movie reviews from your boys, the Unholy Trinity. And we're back with me, Patronus Gold. To my right is Mr. Zephyros.
How do you do?
And to my left is Mr. Sandu.
Howdy doody do. Fuck 2020.
Hell yeah. And this is actually a 2020 movie we're reviewing, but let's keep going with that 2021 spirit anyway. The film in question is the new Pixar release, available on Disney Plus, called Soul. It is about a musician who has lost his passion for music and is transported out of his body and must find his way back with the help of an infant soul learning about herself. The film is directed by Pete Docter, Kemp Power, and it's written by Pete again, and Mike Jones. And it stars Jamie Foxx, Tina Fey, Graham Norton, Rachel House, Alice Braga, Richard Ayoade? Can someone help me?
I don't know. I assumed it was pronounced Richard Ayoade.
Ayoade.
Is that the
But
Kiwi?
we will need
right. The guy from the IT crowd.
he's British.
Oh, no.
British boy.
Yeah.
Not the Kiwi guy.
His mum was Norwegian, his dad was Nigerian.
Yeah.
Alright.
It also has Daveed Diggs, Questlove, and Angela Bassett, and like many more people. But what did we think about the movie?
I mean, as always, it was a good film. I say that for every film, so I'll let you guys continue.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Had some interesting insights in the human purpose of life. But production-wise, it's well made. Well made.
I agree. It is well-made movie with lots of deep messages that I feel like the target audience, being kids, would probably not really understand. But I mean, it does still have funny comedy stuff in there, so maybe kids will like it. But yeah, it's I guess it's deeper than your average Disney movie, which is a good thing. Though, I mean, it's a bit less relatable to me because I am not middle-aged man going through midlife crisis, wondering if I found what I meant to do in life. But I see that people who are going through that would probably find this relatable and I guess cathartic. Alright, moving on to acting. Well, voice acting. What do we think about the voice acting?
I'd say they did a surprising amount of expression and emotion through their voices. But now that I think of it, that should be every voice acting film, especially by Disney and Pixar.
Yeah,
so I'll
Pixar
just let you
does
guys talk out of your mouths instead of out of my ass.
But as good. They're all professional actors, so I assume they're good at their jobs. And it's shown here that it is quite good. No problems here. To be expected, you know.
Yeah. I feel like Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey were great. It was the good stuff. And also like lots of likable voices, character stuff. Yeah. Writing. What do we think about the writing?
Good. It was. I won't say anything about pacing and stuff because I wouldn't know how to talk about it. But in terms of like how the film flowed, I'd say there wasn't a point in time where I was like, it feels off. It just the film was just, I feel like it was written very nicely.
It had some interesting plot points and very introspective, I might say. Well, it gives a potential and hypothetical, as 22 said. Like, illustration of the before life and the afterlife.
Sport, no, you can't.
Basically, it's all funny cat.
Jack, what did you think?
Yeah. Oh, me. I thought good stuff. It's it's well written. I think the concept itself is interesting and pretty well executed. Though it's also it's also quite funny at times. Though not every joke lands. It's kind of weird because it's like there are jokes geared towards kids, but at the same time, it's like though it's written like for more for adults with the messages. So I don't really know where this is like going. So it's a bit unfocused, I feel, and it didn't quite hit me the same way other Disney movies do. Does that make sense? Like on an emotional level?
What I'm taking away from this is that you count yourself as a kid.
I do count myself as a kid. Do you count yourself as a kid?
I count myself as a teenager, thank you very much.
I am
I mean,
legally
that's
an
still a
adult
kid.
in my country, and I can be imprisoned in normal prison, so eh.
So, what do you think about this message, mate? Do you relate to it as an adult?
I get it.
I get it as well. There's a big difference between a teenager and a kid, and I think this audience also applies to teenagers who have lost their souls and are just stuck on TikTok doing random shit and throwing school
Hey,
away like it's nothing.
don't diss TikTok.
I'm not dissing TikTok, I'm dissing the people who use TikTok.
Damn.
See, now that's deep.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, just in my personal opinion, I understand the message and stuff. It's just I don't connect with them as much.
I also wanted to talk about the jokes. I remember very clearly there was the joke about
There are a lot of
was some-
inside jokes
Yeah,
for
there was a
certain
joke
there were a lot of
subcultures.
inside jokes.
For subcultures,
And people in different cliques and different followings would only understand these jokes because I noticed I understood that only this specific group of people would
Yeah.
understand the jokes.
Yeah.
And I kind of get the impression that most of the viewers, the target audience, is probably Americans at this point.
American children?
and
'Cause
their
Pixar?
parents.
At this point, this film, with how much people are gonna talk about it and its message, is really gonna attract older audiences like us and middle-aged people. But going back to the jokes, yeah, it would take quite a specific people to understand some of the in-jokes in this film. As an Australian watching this film, where I don't get a lot of the American culture, I can understand why it would be funny, but I don't know why it's funny.
Specifically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could go into more in spoiler zone if we want to talk into details about some of the in jokes that didn't land with us specifically, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I meant by like it was. Yeah, it did not overlanded. Is that all about writing?
Sure.
All right. Cool.
The fun.
Moving on to cinematography.
I feel like we skip over cinematography and go straight to visuals because it's the cinematography in an animated film is going to be based on the visuals.
Cinematography / visuals / editing, all of that included.
Just in terms of cinematography itself, because I recognize now that you could talk about the cinematography.
Yeah, because there are still
It's
shots.
like the different shots, yeah. They were really. This film was really pretty, just in general. I'll start off with that. It looked so nice.
I'd say hands down the best animated, like the best visually like the best good. Fuck, how do I
the
speak?
best looking animated
film I've seen in my life.
Yeah, there were so many like unique little bits, but then also playing on like different art styles.
Yeah.
And then providing such a realistic, like Pixar animation of what the real world would look like.
Well,
Yeah.
it's still like
And it never feels
cartoonish,
like
but
jarring. It still fits right in. Yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
it's still cartoonish, so it works. While still like everyone's like hair and stuff, it's so realistic, but it works. And like all the backgrounds look pretty realistic as well. But like it doesn't clash, and it's really well done.
we're still under the hump in the uncanny valley thing.
It's not really I would argue uncanny valley is when you try and make it look realistic,
Yeah, but
so it
once
comes up
you're
unrealistic.
over or like over the valley, that's when it looks ass. Or you're in the valley,
I've never heard
basically.
someone say that, but sure.
Then why is it
Did
called
you
the
get that
valley
impression?
then?
Yeah. Oh, it's because there's a
Ah,
visual. The valley is because there's a visual depiction.
See,
yes, I would say this
in
is
the
in the
valley.
uncanny.
But this is before the valley. Or like,
This is
yes.
before the valley. Yeah.
Yeah, so no valley.
The
um,
valley.
no valley.
I
Uh,
was gonna
It's quite the
say,
mountain.
huh?
colors, color grading, and color choice, color palette choice. Very nice. Very
Yeah,
detailed
I
in
would
the
say so as well.
environment.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Oh, and speaking of environments, there's a clear, distinctive art style when you switch to
Different places.
the yeah
From hell
different
to
realms, I guess. Yeah, sure.
let's call it hell.
Let's call it hell.
Yeah, it's hell.
Yeah. I also wanted to point out that they used colors really smart.
Yeah,
Some of the, well, I'll call it the more ethereal places, bit cooler tones, blues. It's a moody place, but then you come back to Earth where, we'll talk about this more in spoilers, where it's like really warm, really bright, and the whole point was I'm trying my best here, but yeah, the use of colors was really smart in emphasizing and reinforcing what they wanted to tell us in the story.
The moods.
Yes.
yep. All right, and I guess we're done with that. Moving on to a big part, music.
Yeah. This film is about a a person finding their purpose in relation to music,
Jazz.
jazz music.
Yeah.
And I don't. Do you guys know how much Pete Docter had to do with the choosing of the music and stuff like that?
Oh, I forgot to say who the music was done by. Is that who it is?
No, no. Pete Docter was the
Oh, the
director.
director. I'd say he would have a pretty big hand in it, because directors do that. The music, by the way, was by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Also, John Baptiste was involved in the music as well. Played a big part in the music as well. Most of the soundtrack was done by John Baptiste, I believe. I think Trent Reznor and
Uh,
Atticus Ross did the majority of the soundtrack, but John Baptiste also did a huge amount of the music. And
sure.
overall, I really liked the music. There was this like combination of jazz and like, I don't know what you call it, like futuristics movie soundtrack style music, which wasn't like your big epic music, big epic soundtracks that you find in like action movies, but it fit the
Yeah.
film so well.
Yeah.
It was such a good mood, and also I really like John Baptiste composing in this film with the jazz. It really fit the film. I also liked how they used some other like, I I remember watching this film and distinctly remembering Joe's ringtone as a Mingus song, which I listened to on Spotify, but I could not remember for the life of me the name of it. I still can't remember it. But
Yeah.
yeah. At least I think it was a Mingus song. I could be wrong about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you know what the
No
ringtone
idea.
is. But I recognized it, and I know I listened to it. And also the fire credit song as well.
Yeah.
I think it was made for the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was it was performed as a duet between Batiste and British soul singer Celeste. Originally recorded by The Impressions, so it was a cover, but it fit the film so right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the song "It's All Right" just fits the film's theme so well.
Yeah.
I really like the music in this film.
Adding to that, he wants to hear a piece of music trivia.
Let's
You'll
go.
know, I don't know if this is really a spoiler, it's the first second of the movie. The opening Disney credit scene with the
Oh, yeah.
castle. So that's a jazz
Yeah.
cover. It's actually played by a middle school jazz band.
Yes, I remember watching the credits and just seeing a
So
middle
it's a
school band in here, and I forgot
it's a
where
little
that
bit
was.
off key
Yeah.
because it's leading to the next scene, which yeah. Um,
I don't know if they played purposely that bad, if that middle school band was just that bad, or they were doing it on purpose.
it's meant
Either way,
to.
it was so fitting, right?
Yeah, it was meant to seem like
Yeah,
the
it
kids in the
fit
movie.
into the
Yeah,
film so well. And
yeah.
honestly, me and Dia were joking about this because we both were played in a junior jazz band in Glen Waverley Secondary, but
Yeah.
didn't remind us. It reminded me more of beginner band.
So yeah.
Hmm.
Very funny, very nice.
Shall we get on to the spoiler zone?
We shall. Spoiler zone.
The timestamp is on the screen.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about some spoilers, eh?
All right. I think I've written down was people when people talk about before when they've had a near death moment, they see like a white flash, and that
Yeah.
was that was like the great beyond, wasn't it? When they died and they saw the great beyond, but then
I guess that's the
they were
interpretation.
resurrected. Interpretation. That's right. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
word. Very smart.
Clever.
Also, we were talking about no wait, what were we were talking about in jokes. The thing I brought up, which might have been the spoiler, was the Knicks joke. 22 messed with the Knicks so many times when they were in the zone.
Yeah.
Because they
But
lose.
I
presumably
guess they
always
lose a lot.
yeah, presumably because they lose a lot or like throw their games away.
Oh, and speaking of, they had some clever jokes. Like one of my favorites was when some like pillar or something falls over in the soul dimension, and then she says, "Don't worry, souls don't get crushed here. That's Earth's job," or something like that.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Would you like an interesting piece of trivia?
okay, Mr. Trivia Man.
Yeah, that's my role now. Hold on, I lost it. Oh, it said in the credits, so I assume maybe applies to the entire movie. But it's the movie was, and I quote, produced by the Pixar Animation Studios, and at our homes at least 6 feet away from each other in the Bay Area. So this might have been made during quarantine.
Partially,
Yeah.
That's pretty
probably.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they did a lot of work beforehand because I think this was going to be getting a theatrical release and stuff, and the trailer was out last year. I mean, the year before last year or something. But yeah, that's interesting.
Do we want to talk more about like the message of this film?
I'll leave that more to you guys. Yeah.
All right.
You know, finding your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That was the message. But isn't this spoilers?
No, this isn't spoilers.
No.
That was the message, Jack. Have you found your purpose? Or what
No.
you want to do in the
No.
futures?
Mate, I don't have my spark.
Then you should have connected. This movie was made for people like that, you idiot.
No, he had a passion,
No,
but he lost his passion.
22 cunt.
Oh yeah. Still. Yeah.
Fine.
Also, we can cut this out if we need to. Probably spoilers, but he didn't really lose his passion in the film, right?
It says that right in the first line of the description.
He
Description.
questions his
But he
passion.
got he was being a teacher. Then he got his gig with the saxophone lady, and then he died.
No, he died before
no.
doing the gig.
I don't
He
agree
did
with the
a
synopsis because
practice
he
thing.
does lose his passion, but that's like way later in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of a spoiler, the synopsis, because he kind of comes to that revelation.
Also, I think at the end of the film, he doesn't really lose his passion. It's just
He
that his
just
view on life has changed in the way that his passion is more of a
Well, it was
passion than a job.
purpose, you
well
know.
before his passion was. I guess we can talk about this more in the spoiler zone, but his passion was more of his obsession, right? And now that because you go to that place called the Zone and stuff like
Mhm.
that, you learn, and lost souls are obsessed with that thing. But
Yeah.
it was kind of like him, and by the end he realizes he's just gonna like enjoy and embrace like the new and like all the aspects of life he didn't notice before while he was consumed by his job. Which and also they're kind of saying like you should separate your job and your passions, so that way
Nah,
you
that's
Mm,
know.
fucked. Fucked
that's no.
advice, mate.
Yeah, that is bad advice.
But basically,
Are you
like
reading too much
he
into this?
Joe thought that jazz was his only like purpose,
Yeah.
and then at the end he realized he can do other things.
To the point where he was willing to give up his own life so that another person could find their own purpose. I don't think it has anything to do with his job necessarily.
Sure.
He just kind
Hey,
of thought jazz was everything that he is, kind of thing. And then he's like, hey, it's not everything.
Sure.
Is that correct, Mr. Sandman?
I would say so, although I am
Well,
a
at the end he
bit
said
tired
like
now.
he expected playing the gig to feel a certain way, but it didn't feel a certain way.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's a good point.
Because he was burnt out on doing jazz.
Well,
No
not that he was burnt out. He was just his. He didn't find
expectations
any
are different.
fulfillment from
Yeah.
performing this gig.
Because he lost his passion.
No, he still likes
No, that was
jazz.
still his passion. He likes jazz. He loves jazz. It's just that he doesn't really see a purpose in it anymore, and that was the whole thing of this film, right? Finding your purpose.
Well, the main message was like, don't worry about what your purpose is. Just like, be brave enough to find it, or like,
Sure.
kind of thing. That's at least that's what I got from it. But actually, like 22 didn't like she didn't need to find what she likes. She just needed to be like ready, right? Apparently.
What was her? What did she? She needed a spark, right? Do you guys remember what
I
her
think
spark
the
was?
spark was just like accepting to live, mate.
I think, yeah, the spark is just the spark. The spark isn't related to anything we learn.
It
That
apparently just means
spark
you're
was
ready
just,
to live.
yeah, exactly.
And that's just sad because like why are you
Yeah.
forcing these souls to live a painful life?
Damn. Yeah, sure.
Are they just gonna be living? They've been thrown into the world just to suffer, mate, like the rest of us.
Yeah.
This film had like, it was, it was going towards the like sad ending, but like the good sad ending where Joe was gonna give up his life for 22, but then he was given
Oh yeah.
he was given a free way out, and it was just like, we're letting you have another chance at life. And
And
to me,
that
that moment
was
was so powerful. That was so nice.
yeah, that was good because then he can actually
Cheated
appreciate
death.
life. If you think about it, both of them didn't appreciate life fully, you know.
I guess
But
so.
they both found the value of
Arguably,
life.
22 did not appreciate life because she didn't have a life, and she
Yeah,
needed to
and
get
she
a
thought it
life.
was miserable. Like
And
Mr.
that's
Dio
why.
thinks life is miserable.
Yes. Well, it's like
Yeah.
I'm following that. There's a theory, but it's like you know how if we didn't live at all, then we didn't have to suffer. You get me?
Yeah.
But that's not the message they're trying to sell the kids, so they can't talk about that bit.
Yeah.
I also want to point out an in-joke. They pointed out how hedge fund managers are always don't have a life.
They're
Yes,
soulless.
the sad realities
Soulless
of being
beasts.
rich. Well,
Yeah.
trying to be rich in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Very funny, very funny. Guess I know what I'm not gonna do when I grow up.
You can be a stockbroker and do the same thing.
You can be a
Yeah.
jazz musician and go through the entire story of this movie.
Or I'm just gonna be Moonwind and sign 12 signs while being a very spiritual person.
Oh, I love Moonwind. He was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love me some Graham Norton voice acting, huh?
Yeah.
Also, can you just imagine Graham Norton going on his show and then like becoming all spiritual and telling everyone in the audience to connect with their chakras?
That would be pretty
And then
nice.
he starts twirling some signs. And then his director comes in and tells him to get back to work because he's talking to too much weirdos.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Graham.
Good stuff.
Alright, are we done with the spoiler section?
Guess we
I would say so.
Alright, final verdicts. Welcome back to those who did not view the spoiler section. And let's get right into it with Mr. Dio.
This is very good looking movie, solid performances, good writing. Although I don't relate too much, I don't really like the story that much, but it was well executed. Funny characters. Yeah, pretty good movie. Give it a solid light 8
Damn.
for mostly.
For me, oh sorry.
Actually, it's more like maybe a 7, but it's going up to an 8. There you go.
Okay.
Damn, this might be the first time we agree on Mr. Dio. For me, I was like, yes, good movie. It has strong performances, some solid writing, though basically exactly what Dio said, I don't really connect to it that much. Though I think it has the best 3D animation I've seen in like forever, as expected of Pixar, and it has a banger of a soundtrack. And I think this is a good movie. I'm feeling a light to decent 7 on this one.
Okay. I'm gonna give a score higher than this, and I don't know if this is a hot take.
Oh no.
I really like this film, and I'm not gonna put it in the way that I can't relate to it
You just like jazz.
because I don't. Not that I don't do jazz. I only listen to jazz. But I want to take it from the point of someone who does relate to this. And if I put myself in their shoes, I could really understand why this film would be so appealing to them. And just in general, I think they executed that message really well.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a light 9.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Pretty high, boy.
Let me do
It's-
some
it might be hot.
calculations.
7.6, 7.7.
Yeah.
That's the final verdict, guys. Average score of 7.7. That's the review.
Yeah. Have you found your purpose yet? If so, give us a like. Do you not have a purpose yet?
Then give
If
us
so,
a like.
give us a like.
That'll be your new purpose.
Subscribe, and yeah, I was gonna say that about sure.
Make sure you comment down below what purpose you found in life.
And if you remember that song that Sonny was talking about,
Do you
It's
like jazz?
alright.
oh, and was that it? It was. It's all right. The
alright.
ringtone?
No, the ringtone was I think it was a Mingus song, but I can't be
Yeah,
certain.
if you all know which one that was, I would leave it the
Yeah.
comment.
Alright.
Hey, you guys want to hear a funny joke before we go?
What's that?
Who's Joe?
Joe Mama!